Since the beginning of time, humans have looked to the heavens and wondered if there was anything or anyone looking back at them. And NASA scientists are pursuing that quest. They're searching for life in the universe, too.
Well, now we're going to see a video from scientists working in their environment, searching for life.
We're not looking for aliens. We're not even looking for fossils. We'll be looking for bacteria or signs of bacteria. And the reason for that is because for most of the Earth's history, they have been the predominant form of life. The chances are it may be different from life on Earth, and therefore what we have to look for is it doing the same things that life does on Earth?
Water is a necessary component for life as we know it. So when we think about trying to understand life on other planets, one of our strategies is to understand the water.
We're focusing on Mars because Mars, in its early history, may have been a lot warmer and wetter than it is now.
It looks like there used to be flowing liquid water on the surface of Mars, but today there isn't any liquid water that we can find, or if there is any, it's very infrequent. We want to detect organics because organics are the building blocks for life. Organics are molecules that contain carbon, and we know that carbon is a central element that makes up our bodies and makes up life. So both Phoenix and the Mars Science Laboratory will search for organics on Mars.
That was a really interesting video. So what are some of the questions that scientists are asking when they're doing research?
Yeah, our scientists are looking for the answers to the question, what defines life? What does life look like? Where is it found? And what sustains life? And the answers that they're coming up with is a surprise to all of us.
So teachers, when you're working with your students, what we want you to do is have the students answer the questions and also try to come up with their own answers, so when they look at NASA's research, they can compare their answers to that.
The lesson that we're about to do will help us understand why NASA conducts research on extremophiles, astromaterials, and Earth-like features on other bodies in the solar system in a quest to answer or respond to those questions. Let's look at those questions again, Rudo. First, what defines life? Functions that all living organisms have in common, such as growth, reproduction, the ability to respond to an environment, but key among them is metabolism. Metabolism is that chemical reaction that allows an organism to use energy from one source and convert it into the energy that's necessary for the organism to sustain its life functions. The other question we're going to respond to is, what does life look like? We know what it looks like when we see it all around us, but what does it look like when it's in a form that we can't see? And here's some examples. Microscopic forms of life. These are actually some examples of extremophiles that scientists have found in some of those very unusual places, like the hot springs of Yellowstone, the acid base of Mono Lake, acid caves in various places, and other areas that are highly alkaline due to the salt content. They're also looking for life in astromaterials.
So where would teachers find all this information that you're talking about?
This website that we featured in this slide is a perfect place. This introduces the work of the Astromaterials Curation Facility at the Johnson Space Center. And when the teachers bring this website up, they'll see all the different categories. The next few slides that we're going to flip through will just briefly give an overview of those types of materials. So the first one introduces us to cosmic dust. It's all around us, comes through our atmosphere, and a great place to look for elements that might have an origin in life or might be suitable for that. And then they're also looking at the samples that came back from the Apollo missions, samples from the moon. They're looking at meteorites found all over the world, but particularly from Antarctica. They're looking, too, in the materials returned from special space missions, and missions such as Genesis that captured some particles of the solar wind, from Stardust, which was another mission, to visit a comet and capture particles from the comet. They're actually even looking at the space hardware that came back. And then finally, the question is, what's needed to sustain life? We're going to take a look at a video that features one of our NASA scientists, Dr. Richard Hoover, who has spent his career searching for extremophiles on Earth.
I think it is quite possible that when we go to collect samples from the icy moons of Jupiter or to collect samples from the polar ice caps of Mars, we may very well find microorganisms.
He says it is even possible that over the course of billions of years, life is spread around the solar system, a sort of cosmic cross-pollination. Microbes could live in the ice deep within comets, frozen there for eons, until a collision with another planet or moon delivered it to a new home.
So it may be that when we ultimately get a chance to bring back samples of ice from the polar caps of Mars, we might find biology that looks just like Earth life, and it might be that it originated on Earth and was carried to Mars.